So you're pressing record and you want me to get started?
I'll get started. Hello and welcome to AgencyTribe meeting number 3. Glad everybody could join us. I'm going to turn over the duties tonight initially to Ursh to make the introduction of our guest and take it from here, Ursh.
Okay. Welcome everybody. I am absolutely thrilled to be able to introduce to you, if you don't already know her, Leanne O'Sullivan. So Leanne is one of the original Business Catalyst partners. She has been running a digital agency, I think probably for longer than most of us, with her husband Brendan O'Sullivan. They used to have Boss Web, which is now rebranded to the absolutely exquisitely beautiful Big Blue Digital. So Leanne is an absolute true practitioner, and what she's done in the last few years is completely reinvented herself and created her own personal brand, which is Leanne O. And that's been a transformation that's worthy of another meeting all of its own, I think. What she's doing is she's become a specialist in training and mentoring businesses, like our end clients, in some of the specialist areas that are required to be successful online. Part of that has been running online courses, and 2 of her most successful courses, or most popular courses, have been Facebook advertising and Instagram advertising. So I think when you've got an area that's so constantly changing, like social media, you really need to follow someone like Leanne, because you've really got to be on top of it. And she doesn't just know the theory, she's an absolute practitioner. So I would love to hand you over to Leanne.
Hi everyone, and thank you for that welcome, Ursh. I'm just going to get up my screen and get it shared with you. And actually that's not going to go very well because that is not my screen. So let's just, excuse me, figure out why that didn't come up. Yes, I am a practitioner, but I can't drive Zoom at the moment, it would appear.
That's okay. We'll just...
Where's my presentation? Here it is. Okay, and let's go back into here. So yes, I've been in the digital space for about 18 years, as Ursh was talking about. And I want to share my desktop. No, I don't want to share my desktop.
I think if you do the share screen, you can then choose which window.
That's what I'm doing. But each time I share it, my sharing is paused. Bring your shared window to the front. It is on the front. It is totally on the front. Aha!
There it is.
Now it's on the front. Beautiful. Okay. Yes, so I've been in this business for about 18 years, and we've done everything in that time, from developing our own platforms through to using Business Catalyst, and obviously now we're using a lot other different projects, different platforms, as we all know. So I'm just going to dive straight in. This webinar that you're going to go through today, there's a lot of slides in here. I have shared all my notes because I may flick through some of these slides because there's a lot that I want to cover, and because you guys are actually in the space, some of these things is what I normally do with business owners. But I'm really pleased that you're here today to learn more about Facebook advertising. And as I said, I've been here for 18 years. I'm a digital strategist, and that comes from years of actually the doing, not just the thinking, so that I'm quite a hands-on person in my skill set, and I'm all about bringing together digital tools that benefit actual businesses, not just pretending to do it, but we actually get our hands dirty. And what I'm about to share with you is something that I wish that I had known 4 or 5 years ago, and I was actively using more strategically in our own business and in our clients' businesses. Because if I was, I think maybe I probably wouldn't be talking to you today. I'd be on a continual holiday, because that's how powerful and that's how eye-opening understanding how to use Facebook ads in your particular business. So just to have a look at some of these numbers here, the last time I updated this slide, the actual monthly users was less, like it was about 1.5 billion monthly users. Now it's at 2.27. Daily users, 1.5 billion. And these are third quarter numbers, which is just absolutely insane. And also the other thing to be mindful of with these users is that obviously 87 to 97% of them are on mobile phones. So it's very much the mobile first platform that we need to be mindful of. If we want to think about how much money is being spent in Facebook advertising, these numbers are unbelievably massive. $13.7 billion in advertising revenue just in the third quarter of 2018, up from $10.3 billion the year before. So that's a massive growth just in 12 months, and that's just for that quarter. Instagram is bringing in $6.84 billion in mobile ad revenue worldwide this year. Again, they're huge numbers. They're coming from Statistica, and I just grabbed them from the internet this morning. So massive numbers, and you have to think, am I in that mix? What am I doing? What am I doing for my clients in that space? Right now, we've still got a window. Facebook continues to be a lower cost ad option rather than Google AdWords. Google AdWords, as we all know, has become more and more expensive. The glory days of when things didn't cost a lot of money to get big reach, it's no longer. It is a lot more expensive. Facebook is still like that. Expect big changes in the next 12 to 18 months. It is going to be much more expensive. So you really need to know what you're doing before you get your clients to part with their hard-earned money. So what I'm going to do in this webinar now is I'm going to go through a little bit about why we need to be in Facebook ads, specifically how to be heard when no one is listening, because we are just bombarded all the time with advertising and updates and advice. So there's a whole lot of things being thrown at us and being thrown at our clients' audiences. So let's just have a bit of a look at what I'm going to go through today is basically why you need to set up your clients for success inside Facebook. So not just you, I'm also going to be coming at it from the perspective of helping your clients with their business. We'll talk about Business Manager. We're going to talk about the most essential thing. And I think for you guys as agencies, I normally say to my business owner clients, the most important thing you need to remember from today is to leave here and set up your Facebook pixel. So for you guys, the most important thing that you need to do today is A, set up Business Manager for your business so that you can access all your clients' Facebook pages in the one place, and B, get those Facebook pixels on their websites pronto. It is akin to not having Google Analytics hooked up. That's how essential it is for a business today. And I'm constantly coming across businesses and agencies that aren't doing this still. I have a little story that I'll share with you as we go through about a big non-for-profit currently spending $12,000 a month. No Facebook ad pixel was in their site. Ridiculous. We're also going to have a quick look at setting up ads, who you should target, and how you track performance. Some of these things I'm going to flick through quickly. All the notes are actually with Ursh, and she will share those with you. Now, one of the key things to understand is, and I'm just going to check this, is we need to understand the difference between organic reach and paid reach. And for you guys, you probably already know that organic reach is throttling, if you like, what people actually see in their field, in their feeds. I'm here to tell you organic reach is dead. I don't care what some of those people will tell you, unless you have a super engaged base of customers. Organic reach is effectively dead for you and your business. That's not to say that we don't post and we aren't getting people to see it, but we really need to flip the switch and be thinking more strategically about paid reach, about maximizing the chances of our posts being seen not just by those people that have said to Facebook, hey, I like this business, but all those other people that are actually our potential customers, our ideal clients. And we need to be mindful that it's not about boosting posts. So Facebook ads is so much more than boosting posts, and we're going to come into why you need to be thinking beyond the boosted post with your clients and getting them to think beyond the boosted posts. So one of the numbers in here that I think is really helpful if you want to sell this concept to your clients is that of the 1,500 approximate things we might see in our feed in Facebook, we're only going to see about 300 of them. And depending on the time of day that we might dive in, even the 300 posts that might have been put in our feed, we may not even notice them because we're only diving in for 15 minutes at the end of the day. We're only going to see a certain number of those 300 posts of that potential 1,500 at that time. So it's really important that our clients get the whole concept of there's so much content. The Facebook algorithm is only going to really show the best content, the most engaged stuff to you in your feed, a bit like how, page rank is such an important factor in the Google algorithm. Content quality is very important for organic posting, and that's why we want to get past that with advertising. And the other thing that's really helpful for you guys when you want to use this as a service for your own clients and for yourself is that it's right now still incredibly cost effective. You can afford, Facebook ads are going to work for you even if it's just for the price of a cup of coffee or two a day. So I'm talking between $5 and $10 a day is an actual spend that is potentially going to deliver dividends for you. It really depends a lot on who you're trying to target and the market that you're in, but you still can get away with spending $5 or $10 a day and getting good outcomes. So that might be music to the ears of your particular client. So it is still very cost effective, and it's also simple once we know what we're doing and how to set it up properly, because we can get we can actually see how many interested people we might be targeting. We can also see how many people we are likely to get results from if we're sending people to it's a traffic ad, we want to send people to our website. If we want people to buy something or sign up to a list, Facebook's going to let us know approximately how many people will be in the pool that we are targeting. And when we set a daily budget, we will know approximately how many people are going to respond to that, and we can stop them at any time. So it's like Google AdWords, we have that daily control, that budgetary control, but we have the added benefit of really targeted demographics. We can really get to the heart of our customers, and we see more quickly how many people we potentially can target and get a feel for with our budget, what's the likely outcome. Plus, we can stop things at any time. We can reduce the spend. We have complete control. Okay, so very first thing that all of you guys should be doing if you're not already is I want you all to act like a pro and use Business Manager. So you shouldn't be being administrators of your clients' pages or ad accounts by logging into their account. What we should be doing is that we should be creating a Business Manager account and requesting access to all our clients' pages and our ad accounts from our particular portal, our Business Manager account. It lets us set up new accounts. We can give people in our team access. It's much easier to set up pixels for our clients. We see insights all in one place. It's easier for us to manage audiences. And if you have things in a Business Manager account and maybe you've got a client that's got multiple pages, you can share audiences across accounts, which is really useful if you've got sister businesses or clients that have a few different pages or websites that you want to share those audiences across those businesses. So this is all where Business Manager is what you need to have. To get set up with Business Manager, it is really easy. You just need to go to business.facebook.com and then you're just going to set up a Business Manager account. So effectively, you're just following the prompts, and that's what, once you create your account, you then would add people, i.e. yourself and your team. You would add your pages, your page, of course, and then your clients' pages, request access to them, and add ad accounts, which makes it so much easier if you've got clients that have been doing boosted posts and you want to take them to the next level to actually get Facebook advertising working properly for them. You can request access to their ad accounts inside Business Manager. And it's really, really simple once you get set up. Now, I've got 7 actual business manager accounts that I have access to. And within each of those business manager accounts, I have multiple pages and ad accounts inside them. And it just helps to keep things segmented and ordered so that I know what's going on with each of my customers. Once you set it up and you log in to your business manager account, where you need to go is always be guided by the hamburger in the top left-hand corner. If you get lost when you're in anything to do with Facebook advertising, always look for that hamburger in the top left-hand corner, click it, and then the menu will pop out and you can see all the various options of things that you might wish to do. Business settings, when we want to get set up in the first instance, is where you need to go first. So once you click on business settings, you can then see that you've got users, so people that you're going to give access to accounts, and you can give it to your team. And you might have some people can only access certain pages and other people might be able to access other pages. And you can also then in accounts, you set up pages, ad accounts, Instagram, all sorts of things can sit inside here, and you just request access to pages. Or if you are setting up ad accounts, if you've got a customer who's been doing boosted posts for a while, they will actually have an ad account. You just need to get access to their ad ID. You need to ask them to tell you what it is and guide them as to how to get into that. And if you've got some questions about that at the end, we can come back to it in the questions and I'll show you specifically inside my own business manager account where some of these little bits and pieces and some tips are. But they're the 2 things that are most important. Business manager, set yourself and your team up. Request access to pages. You probably already are an administrator on some of your clients' pages, so it'll be easy to add those pages directly into Business Manager. When you want to add ad accounts inside here, you'll need to know the ID of those ad accounts, and then you can get that from your customer, and then you can set them up inside here. So that's the really important thing first, get Business Manager set up. Then this is what I always say to my own clients. This is what is super important. This is what I drum into my team now. This is what I say to everyone. And you would be surprised at the amount of businesses that do not do this. They have not embedded the Facebook pixel in their website, yet they are advertising on Facebook. They are boosting posts willy-nilly, but they are not giving Facebook the insight it needs to make ads work better. So the Facebook pixel, first of all, lets you track conversions. So you can actually track and find more of the right kind of people, which I'll get to in a moment. But Facebook will track a person from the pixel from the moment they come into your funnel, they go through the process, so they might sign up to your list, or they might purchase something, or they might visit a page. Facebook is tracking that person and tracking what they do. This then helps Facebook and you to review optimization so that you can make sure that your ad budget is on track. And this is what I love the most. If we don't have enough actual customers that buy or sign up to our list or visit our website, the next best kind of audience to a person that does that is a retargeting audience. And you cannot do that unless you are tracking user behavior on your website and then asking Facebook to find more of the right people, or to build an audience of people that have visited your website, or that have visited a certain page of your website, or who have perhaps gone to your checkout page but never gone to the thank you for buying page, so that you can retarget to those people. This is why getting your Facebook pixel set up and embedded in your website is so, so critical. And for you guys having a web background, it's very easy for you to follow the instructions. You can have multiple pixels tied to the one ad account, but you must have an ad account to have a pixel. You can then create separate pixels for an ad account, but you must have that ad account first before you then set up your pixel. You can also have a pixel on multiple sites. So let's just say that you've got a website and then you also have a landing page somewhere using, say, Instapage or Lead Pages or some other, landing page software. You can embed your pixel in there as well so that you can track people coming to your website from somewhere else. And I also believe that Eventbrite lets you put your pixel in if you're on your landing page inside Eventbrite. So lots of third-party tools that you may plug into your client's website will often allow you to put the Facebook pixel in there, just in the same way that you can also put your Google Analytics tracking, because it's all traffic and consumer behavior and user behavior that you're looking to track. It all comes into the one pixel bucket. So that's also really important to understand. Now, when you're inside Business Manager, it makes the process of creating pixels really, really easy. Again, go to that little hamburger, top left-hand corner, the big menu will pop out, look for Measure and Report, and you want to browse down to pixels. And then you can see inside here where all of your ad accounts will be listed and all of your pixels will be listed. And you just want to click on Create Data Source, and I'll show you that in the questions if anybody particularly wants to see. So when you click Create a Facebook Pixel, it'll pop up like this. You just want to make sure that you're creating the right pixel for the right ad account. You don't want to be mixing that up. You want to make sure that this ad account for client A, you're creating the pixel for that ad account, and then that pixel is going on client A's website on every single page, just like you do with Google Analytics, plus on all those third-party apps that might be leading into your website in whatever way. If you can embed the Facebook pixel in them, make sure you do it. Okay, so that's what you do. You just create the pixel, it creates the code, and then it's very helpful. It gives you the instructions to embed in your website. So if you're a coder, you've got the code that you copy and paste, or it's got steps for a whole range of web platforms: WordPress, Squarespace, BigCommerce, Shopify, loads and loads of them, all right at your fingertips. You just follow the instructions. They've made it really, really easy, and it's so much better than it was years ago when it was quite scary and you really needed to be a bit of a Facebook guru to be mucking around. Now it's much more streamlined and straightforward, as long as people know they should be doing it. Okay, so we've got those fundamentals, Business Manager and the pixel sorted out. The next bit is more a bit of a piece about how you might sell this idea to your own clients or even for yourself. A lot of people think they're doing Facebook ads because they're boosting posts, because it's so easy to boost a post. Facebook's constantly putting it in front of us to, hey, hit the boost button, just, spend $10. This post's going really well. Why don't you just spend another $10 and get it in front of 35,000 people? And all of that is well and good, except it's designed to just do one thing: boost engagement. That's all that's happening when we boost a post. Facebook, every time we do an ad inside Facebook, there's an objective sitting behind it. And when we choose the objective, Facebook then puts our ad in front of people that not only suit the targeting parameters that we've set, so, 18 to 25-year-olds living in an area like running, for example, or, that could be the audience. When we choose an objective, Facebook then looks at that body of people and says, I'm going to put this ad in front of the people that are most likely to do this thing that I'm asking. So when we boost engagement or we choose to boost a post, it might be that we're putting in front of the right geographical or demographic group of people, but Facebook then is going to say, but I'm going to put it in front of the people that are most likely to like this post or comment on this post or share this post. And that's perfectly okay if you want those things to occur. But if you want to drive traffic to your website, if you want to sell a widget, if you want to get someone on your list, then the boost engagement objective isn't the right objective for you. You need to do an ad so you can choose something like traffic or something like conversion, where it might be a lead from an email. You want to get someone on your list. You want to get someone to buy your product. You want to get someone to watch a video. there's lots of different objectives, and the kind of objective we choose tells Facebook, put it in front of these people. And so it's really important that if you've got a link in your post and you're boosting it, you're not necessarily going to see the traffic that you might expect if you had run a traffic ad. So that's why Facebook ads are why you need you to be working with your customers to do it. You need to tell them they need to stop boosting posts, because all they're doing is one kind of ad, engagement. And there's a place for engagement, but you can still do engagement ads inside Ads Manager. That's just how the Facebook ad algorithm works. So if you've just been boosting posts, all you're doing is one kind of ad, and there's about 9 different objectives depending on what is the outcome you're looking for. So how do we then set up these ads? Here we go, looking at our objectives. And as I've mentioned, there's lots of them. We've got brand awareness. There's a couple of different varieties of ad if you want to do brand awareness. We've got engagement. We've got traffic to websites. We've got website conversions. We've got get your app. We've got engage with your app. We've got respond to an event. We've got offers. We've got a whole range of things. But I'm just going to quickly flip through the top 4 for you today. And pretend that you are in your business manager. So inside here, if you didn't have business manager, you would come down and you'd see manage adverts. But if you've got business manager, it would be further up this page. You would see your business manager account, and you'd go inside there and you'd still go top left-hand corner, manage ads. And that's what you'd want to do in adverts manager. And you can see that an ad on the left-hand side, it's made up of 3 components. The campaign itself, this is where you choose your objective based around the purpose of your ad. What are you trying to achieve? What do you want to see happen? When you do a boosted post, you don't get to ask that. It goes straight into engagement. So we need to think about, what does my client want to see happen as a consequence of this ad? That's what the campaign itself. The ad set, who's going to see it? Who's your audience? How long will it run? Where are they going to see it? How much am I going to spend? You do all of that in the ad set component. And then the final bit is the ad itself, what you're going to say and how it looks. Now, often people spend a lot of time thinking about what their ad's going to look without doing enough thinking in the first 2 areas, understanding what the purpose is and making sure they're putting it in front of the right people. Because a really pretty ad isn't going to work if we're not putting it in front of the right people and we haven't thought clearly about, what am I trying to achieve from spending money in the first place? So as I've said, think about your outcome first. That will help define the kind of ad you're running. And I need you all to be mindful of vanity metrics. You can't be tempted by, I know you've got clients that say they're all about more likes. We have clients that say they're all about likes as well. It drives us mental. There is a place for vanity metrics. If you're a small business and you're looking to grow and get credibility in your market, obviously having a page that's got less than 100 people who like you sends a message to the market that you are perhaps new, maybe don't have a lot of credibility. There is a place for having a campaign that drives more likes. And I'm a big believer in having a low spending Facebook ad all the time that's about just building Facebook likers, targeting the right people with an ad and getting that to happen and just running under the radar all the time. But when you're wanting to focus on outcomes, you need to think about, what do I want to see happen? And ultimately, it's got to be about leads and sales. It can't just be about vanity metrics. And you've got to change the mindset of your clients so that they start to think about that. This will help you feed them into the right area if they want awareness or consideration or conversion. Okay. A lot of new people to Facebook ads who probably have been around for a while, most likely don't need to run very many awareness campaigns unless they're launching a new product or they're launching a new thing. Consideration is likely to be a happy hunting ground for you and your clients. Conversions is more when you've built up a better body of outcomes. You know that you've run ads in the past and you've got people signing up to things or visiting your website. You can then start to hone in on conversions to get people to buy or to get people to sign up to your newsletter. It's harder to get those conversions, and I'll explain why in a moment. So stepping you through how you create your ad, you know, we choose our objective, what it wants to be. You can still have engagement ads. You can still be all about post engagement or page likes or event responses in the consideration phase. But I like to do ads that are driving website traffic and lead generation ads. So they're the consideration kind of ads that you might want to run. And then conversions obviously would be the sales funnel, sales ads. If you want to know if you're going to do an engagement ad, how you choose which one. If you get a post that's going well organically, it might be a post that Facebook will tell you, hey, people are liking this, more people are responding to this and seeing this. That's a great cue to then run an ad based off that particular Facebook post. So you can choose ads from posts. You can do traffic ads from posts. You might have done a video that you've uploaded, or you might have just put a post up there that got people thinking and engaging with you. That's a great ad to then run to like boost your awareness and to drive traffic, because Facebook wants your ads to succeed. When they tell you this is a post going well, believe them. Yes, they want to take your money, but you need to think strategically before you just hit the boost button. Dive into Ads Manager and then run the ad. Okay. So, audiences. Understanding our audiences. Okay. Often what we do is that we use what's known as a saved audience inside Facebook. So Facebook has 3 different audiences: saved audiences, custom audiences, and lookalike audiences. So when we're thinking about who we're going to target, we need to bear those things in mind. We need to think about the location and the age, the gender of people that we're attracting. Maybe we're interested in the language that they speak, maybe their interests. So all these kinds of things, how they might behave inside Facebook. Are they Facebook page admins? Are they people that set things up? We need to know these things, but when we use this and create a new audience, this is going to create a saved audience, okay? So we are going to put all these parameters in, and that's going to be a saved audience. Now, I tend not to use saved audiences a lot unless I am new to a particular market, or I am looking to build my own particular audience because I don't have a lot of people on my list, and I don't have a lot of people on who are visiting my website or who have engaged with my Facebook page. So all these tools around locations tend to be where people might dive first when they've first gone into Facebook ads, and they're just going, oh, my ideal client's a certain age, they're into a certain thing, and they live in a certain area. And all of these things are great, but this isn't your best audience. I prefer to get people to use custom audiences and lookalike audiences. So I'm just going to flip through these slides. You'll be able to read these yourself later in terms of having a play with your own client audiences, having a look at how many people might be in these particular groups, in these particular areas. But let's get to the audiences that add more value. And they are the people in special audiences at the end, the custom audiences and lookalike. So I'm going to come back to those because they are the ones that I want you to use and set up for your clients. Okay, where do people see your ads? You will be asked, where do you want to place your ads? And by default, Facebook will say auto placement, and it will place them everywhere. If you've never run an ad before, it might be worthwhile to see what happens if I place my ads and let Facebook put them where they're just going to test. And then we'll be able to see after about 5, 6, 7 days what worked, because Facebook's going to slowly stop showing ads to places that don't work and put your ad in front of people that do respond to your ad. So these are all the places that you can have ads: on desktop, mobile, inside the Instagram network, across the audience network. So that's websites that use Facebook ads in their content. So that's a really powerful one. Instant articles, you'll appear inside blog posts of other businesses. Inside video and also inside Messenger. So you do have an option to edit your placements and choose where you might want ads to appear. So if you know for a fact you don't need Facebook to tell you that your audience isn't in Instagram, then don't advertise across Instagram. If you know for a fact that your audience won't be looking in Messenger and isn't inside Marketplace and you don't want your ad in a video, then make sure you turn those things off, because you ultimately should know your clients better than Facebook at this point when you're setting things up. By all means, do an experiment and see what happens when you put it everywhere. But I tend to control my placements because I'd rather have my money going only to the places that I know works. So we can turn things on and off, and we can also, this is just a little cue, if we're going to have our Facebook ads shared across sort of the wider web space, you may also choose to not have your ad shown in certain areas. So you may not want it to be shown in a page or on a website that's got debatable social issues or gambling, or I love how they talk about pornography, they call it mature, or we have anything that might be tragedy and conflict, you know, because it's just not appropriate for your ad to appear in a website somewhere else from the Facebook network with those things. So you can exclude the websites that it appears on, and that's just a really helpful thing. People often say, oh, what's the best place? Where's the best place to show my ad? Or what's the best time? Or, you know, what's the best audience? Or what's the best budget? And I'm here to tell you right now that there's no one best place. The best thing for you is, it's like everything that you're going to do with Facebook, is that you need to test. You need to look at what your ad in your market for your customers does. And that is the thing that people don't do with Facebook enough of. They just think that they just put it up there and it just does its thing and they never need to look at it again. And then they go, Facebook ads don't work because I didn't get any traffic, or I didn't get any sales, or I didn't get any whatevers. We need to look at what we're doing. So be mindful of where you're placing your ad, or what audience network it might be. Just review what's actually going on, and we'll have a look at that in a moment. Okay, so following on from this, where's the best place to put my ad? People say, well, how much money should I spend? And my answer is always, how long is a ball of string? Facebook ads give you something that Google ads doesn't. It gives you better targeting, and it also gives you a better indication of the results of your ad spend. So when you set your budget, let's just say you're going to spend $10 a day or $20 a day or $50 a day, whatever you're going to spend within a period, Facebook's going to let you know how many people you're going to reach in your market with that ad per day on that spend. You only need to spend $1 a day. But bear in mind that if you put in, I want to spend $1 a day, Facebook's going to show you, well, on $1, potentially your ad is going to be shown to a bucket of maybe 500 people, and the actions, maybe 2 of those 500 people might do something, okay? So you always need to look, when you set your budgets, what is the potential result going to be? And be mindful that there is more and more competition for newsfeed space, so you need to review your numbers. So it's like anything when we're doing online advertising, start with your end goal and work back. If you want to have 100 people buy your product, you then need to come into Facebook and say, well, my budget's actually only this. Like, budgets are finite. I've only got, say, $1,000 to spend on this campaign. I'm going to run it for, 3 weeks. So working back, that might be, let's just say you're going to spend $50 a day. What's that going to do? So you can see at $50 a day that the likelihood of getting people to take action might be about 5 people might take action. And if you only run that campaign for 2 weeks, so that's 5 times 7, 5 times, you're only going to get 70 people potentially doing your thing, not your 100 that you want to get. So you might need to manipulate your budget to reach your end goal, but you need to look at what your daily budget means inside Business Manager. Okay, so I'm going to show you in my thing so you can have a bit of a look. People kind of come here when they set their budget. They go, yes, I'm going to have a daily spend. I always prefer to do daily spends rather than a lifetime spend. I like to control my budget because once I know my ad's working, I might want to ramp it up. So I might spend, say, $5 or $10 a day when I'm testing, knowing that once I know that this particular ad in this particular market's working, then I'm going to change the ad spend to $50 a day or whatever. So I always choose to use daily budgets rather than lifetime budgets. I always set an end date for my campaign so I know exactly how much I'm going to spend. Now, people often only look here and never look at how many people they're reaching, how many people are likely to convert, and Facebook gives you that information inside the ad itself. You actually get to see that. This is just a little reminder to let you know that you can control the spending. So with Business Manager, you can actually set different billing and payment methods for each of the ad accounts so that your clients can pay for them themselves. You don't have to have, that you pay and then bill it if you don't want to work that way, but you can, inside Business Manager, control who's paying for each of the ads. So that's just something to be mindful of. Getting creative is focusing on actually setting up your ads. And it's always good practice to, as I've said, test what you're doing with your Facebook ads. So you might have one ad and you test it in two different locations, so have two different ad sets. Or you might have one ad set that you know works for you, but you might want to have two different ads running to see which is the ad that's going to work the best for you. So that's something to bear in mind when you're creating your ads. But then when you go in and you actually set it up, Facebook's going to ask you, where do you want the ad to, like which Facebook accounts it connected to, so your own Facebook page and your Instagram account if you have one, or your clients. It's going to ask you what format do you want. Is it a single ad? Are you going to have a carousel? Will you have multiple images? Is it a video ad? What's the actual media that you're uploading? Full screen experience is not a beginner's feature. I never talk about that with my clients, and I would guarantee that your clients don't need to know about that either. They just won't have the ad spend to make doing it like that warranted. Media is the actual images and video that you want to use, that you would upload to put in your ad, and links is where you want to send people. So these are all the things. It steps you through each of these points. I always still use the wizard. I always use the Facebook ad wizard when I'm creating ads. I always have my ad prepared offline. I'm now using Creative Hub to do it. So I do my prep work before I come into Ad Manager to play around with stuff, so that I know that my ad, my copy, my image is already done when I come to the tech. So I'm just kind of showing you a few screens here of actually setting up your ad where you connect. Yes, this is the Facebook page that I want to use. This is the Instagram account that I'm going to use. 100% connect your Instagram account, your Facebook page, because you can also set up audiences based off people that interact with your Instagram account, not necessarily followers, just people that like your photos, which is awesome. Then you go through the process of setting up the kind of ad that you want, carousel with multiple images, etc. Or whether it's a video or a slideshow. Slideshows are really good, and carousels in particular for e-commerce. A carousel, when you have an ad, you have multiple images, and in effect you have like multiple ads within the one ad, so that you might have, if you're an e-commerce store, you might have a women's one type of dress and another type of dress, and maybe you might have a bag, and maybe you might have a pair of shoes. That's how you do that. You do that in the carousel format, and you can have different links, different messaging. So it's a great option when you want to have the one ad that maybe is doing a couple of different things in the same space. So carousels work really well with e-commerce. Slideshow ads as well, where Facebook creates a little like video slideshow for you, is also really, really cool. Once you've selected that, then of course you need to upload your images. Here's the image size, 1200 by 628 pixels. You can also crop an image if you're going to have it run inside Instagram, so that you would upload your wide image, and then you have an opportunity to edit or crop, if you like, that same image so that it appears as a square shape for Instagram, which, even though Instagram does do the rectangular images, nobody cares about that. Everybody would prefer to look at the square. So crop your image for Instagram or upload a square version of your image when you're using Instagram. And don't be fooled by the old, you don't need, Facebook's letting you have text on your image. Okay, so Facebook technically will let ads run with text on image, and they will let ads run that have more than 20% text on your image, but you'll be penalised in terms of your click-through rate, your actual, your spend. They're going to charge you more for the luxury of having text on your image. So you're better off having an image with no text. The ad is where the image, the text appears. So the text above your image and then the text on your call to action area below your image, that's where you need to have the text. No text on images. If you are seeing ads that have text on their images, they are paying more per action for that luxury. And if you've got a big budget and you really personally believe that that's what you need to do, by all means do it, but your ad will be cheaper if there is no text on your image. Okay, so that's just something to be mindful of. There's also a little link in here when you get these notes that shows you how you can check if you've got more than 20%, but my preference is none. Just don't even worry about it. Have no text on your image whatsoever. Just have a nice big image. And then we've got the actual putting it together. So you can see that you've got an area for where are you sending people? What's your headline? What's the little text that's going to appear below? If you're on your desktop, you should include an area for, the feed link description. But the big thing with all of this stuff is when you put it all together, on that right-hand side, Facebook's going to show you exactly what it looks like in every single format or location that you're going to show it. So you'll be able to see by clicking on the little drop-down area, show me what it looks like. So make sure you see what it looks like. Lots of mobile ads fail because Facebook ads fail because we kind of focus on building it for our desktop, when in reality, most people are looking at it on their phone. That's just the way of the world. So optimize for what it looks like on mobile first. Make sure the messaging is perfect for mobile, because that's going to be the biggest part of your audience. And then come back and maybe play a little bit with the desktop link description for your desktop ad. Just a couple of little tips around creative writing. Again, use those things that you know with your call to actions when you're building a website and bring them across to Facebook ads. So think about what the offer is. Be clear but punchy. There's a very small amount of space. Your name's already going to be there in the ad, so you don't need to put your name in there again, but just focus on the end message, and choose the right call to action button. So control your button option so that people know that they're going to watch a video, or they're going to learn more if they do this, or if they're going to, that they're going to go somewhere else. So make sure that you choose all these options and that you see what they look like and go mobile first. Okay, so this is how it all sort of comes together. I'm just going to quickly flip through this. Web link text, call to action text, newsfeed text, what's our button choice, and then we have our ad. Okay, so this is what it looks like on a desktop feed. Make sure your mobile placement is right. Make sure that you always check, what does this look like on a mobile phone? Then if you've got targeting an Instagram audience, always check, what's this going to look like in Instagram? Because everywhere it crops the text a bit, and you want to make sure that you're controlling your headline, you'll make sure you're controlling your words so that people see it how you want them to see it. Okay, so now we're getting to the real value for you as your agency and helping your clients get better performing ads. The best performing ad the best kind of audience that you're going to get will be a custom audience. These are the people that have already purchased from you, are on your mailing list, have interacted with your website, they've interacted with your Facebook page, they've interacted with your Instagram account. So this is all the options that you can have with a custom audience, and these all become relevant once you've got that pixel in place. So it could be from a list. Upload your client lists. It might be you've integrated your app, your Facebook SDK and your app are connected because you want to target more people that have downloaded your app or have interacted with your app. It could be people that have engaged with your Facebook page. And these aren't just people that like your page. These are people that have liked content, watched content, commented on content, or shared content. They may never actually say, oh yeah, I like that page. Remember, we're all lurkers at heart, okay? So in fact, whenever I work with a client, one of the first things that I set up is a likers, lurkers, and lovers list. So I'm going to be creating an audience of all the people that have interacted with the page, that have liked the page, interacted with our page, and maybe just watched stuff. They're the lurkers. We want to make sure that we get all the people that have visited your website. So we want to track everyone that's come into any page of your website in a certain date range. We might want to track people that have gone to the cart page. We might want to track all the people that have gone to the checkout page. We might want to track all the people that have ever visited a certain page of your website and target more of those people. So these are the audiences that you should use first, unless they're all very small and you don't have a lot of these direct relationships to customers. Then this is where the next kind of audiences come into play. Lookalike audiences. Now, all your audiences are going to sit inside Business Manager in Assets under Audiences, and you can create them all for any of your clients right in there. And my suggestion would be go in there, go to Audiences, and make sure you set up some of the standard custom ones. If you've got a Facebook pixel embedded, you can do all the website traffic ones, or even if you don't, you can do all the people that have interacted with your page. So this is where you want to go. Into your Business Manager, hamburger, top left-hand corner, it'll pop over, go to Assets, and in Audiences. Okay. But, and this is what you'll see, and they've expanded on this so much in the last 2 years. It's been phenomenal. So they have people that have engaged on Facebook. You can track people watching your Facebook videos. You can track the best kinds of people, the most engaged audiences, because video ads are the best. They are going to be the cheapest, the best reach. If you are wanting to build an audience quickly, I would go with a good video ad. Upload the video into Facebook, run the ad, and then build custom audiences and lookalike audiences off the back of that success, because it is a really cheap way to get a big audiences quickly. Don't just go with the people that have hardly watched any of your video. Go with an audience that have watched at least 25% of your video, not the standard 3 seconds. Okay, so when you want to use your custom audience in an ad, you must have more than 1,000 people. It won't let you target your custom audiences unless there's more than 1,000 people in that list. You can, however, create a custom audience of as little as 100 people. So if you upload an email list, maybe it's only got 300 people in it, as long as Facebook can find inside the Facebook universe ecosystem 100 people, you can then use those 100 people and find a lookalike audience. So people that look and behave just like those people. So they're not those people, but they're the next best thing. These are lookalike audiences, and I love these audiences, and I use these a lot to grow traffic, to drive sales, to get bookings, to get people on my lists, because I want more of my buyers. I want more of my email subscribers. I want more of my website visitors. Facebook will find them for you if you give them those people when you create your custom audiences, which is why you need to stop listening to me and get those pixels in your client's website today. That is so, so important. So these are the two audiences that I use a lot of. Obviously, I do use a mix of saved audiences when we are looking to target a new market. We've never done Facebook advertising before. Now, you want to get at least 100,000 people in your saved audiences group when you really don't know what's going on. Facebook works better when you've got a big audience where you're going to those broad sweeps of trying to find the right people. It can be tricky if you are in regional areas where you don't have the luxury of getting 100,000 people. It's probably better to have less interests and try and reduce the amount of demographics that you're targeting so that your audience can be a bit bigger that you need to target. But I work with a lot of regionally based businesses, and I still see good success when my audience is only between, say, 20 to 30,000 people. But I'm trying to get those kinds of numbers when I'm working with them. This is an area where you can see, you're looking at some custom audiences. All of this information is there for you inside the audience area. So you take a custom audience of people. This is my favorite one, my likers, my lurkers, my lovers. I always, matter of course, new client that I start to work with, I create all of these custom audiences. It's one of the very first things we do. And then I create lookalikes based off that group once I know I've got a number of people. Facebook now no longer shows us the amount of people that they have inside our custom audiences. You just know that you can use it to target, but it never really tells you just in that list. It's all to do with privacy. You can blame Donald Trump. You can blame Cambridge Analytica. Privacy rules inside Facebook have become much tighter, and so they should be. We are being responsible for customer data. Like everything we do with customer data, we need to be authentic. We need to be ethical in what we do with that information. So just be careful when you're inside Facebook and who you're targeting. Okay.
Just stepping in here, Leanne, just letting you know we're 3 minutes to the hour.
Yep.
And we've also got
questions. That's perfect. So as I said at the start, all these notes are with you. Like this is a big beginner session because there's no point hardly telling you anything. It's better giving you what you need to know. There's a bunch of stuff that I haven't spoken about, which is terms of testing. The thing that I want you all to realize with this is that Facebook takes a while to learn that your ads are working. So you've got to be a bit patient. So it normally takes around 50 instances of what you're doing or about 7 days. So you need to be watching your ads every day to see what's going on. That's just something to be mindful of. But I think once you guys have got those structural things in place, then you will start to see if you just keep watching things. So what I'd like to do now is to stop, because I've given you no time to ask any questions, is to open it up to questions. And I'm just going to stop sharing out my screen because if I need to pop open my own business manager account, so you've got some specific questions, you can ask me those and I might show you on the screen. Sorry, Ursh.
That's all right. Thank you so much, Leanne. That was so action-packed. So before we go into questions, I just thought, what do people, I mean, I know you've got the Facebook course that you have, and I think there is so much to absorb that something like your course would be a good thing if people find this, too much to know. The course kind of steps you through step by step. So if you could perhaps give us some information about that as well.
Yep.
And then I've got some questions here that I'll read out, and then we can once those are answered, we can go into additional questions.
Yep. Go for your life.
So Colette asked a question, but it was kind of answered, but I'll just see if you've got another answer for it as well. How can you test if the pixel is working?
Oh, okay. What you need to do is you just download a little, Facebook will tell you inside Facebook that your pixel is tracking traffic, but there's actually a little thing called a pixel helper that you can get it from Chrome, and then it sits in your browser up the top. It's just a little...
Cool. That's what Paul answered as well. I just thought, that's good.
Yeah.
All right. How do you target for small local businesses as you can't get large numbers?
Okay. So you just you use what you've got. Like when I say small regional centres, I'm living in a town that has a population of 50,000 people, but a lot of my regionally based clients are in towns that have less than 10,000 people. We still then try and run ads with as big a possible audience as we can, but we just focus mainly on the geographic location. Because like in a lot of small towns, even though that person may not necessarily buy your product, they've always got a daughter or a friend or someone that they know, like you're relying on those personal relationships. So the fact that you're not honing in a regional, like in a small centre, you're not honing in on runners necessarily when you're a sports store. The fact that you're just honing in on people that live in your town might be enough, because they're going to refer, especially if you've made your ad copy compelling, you've got a good graphic and you've got a nice story at the top and it might be some nice offer. Someone's mum or auntie or friend or associate will say, hey, did you see this? And that's how they grow. They share the post, they tag their friend that they know that's the runner to see your ad. So just don't go deep into interests if you're in a small centre. Just focus on the geographical location so that you can get as big as you can possibly get in that area. It will work.
Thank you. Does anyone else have other questions? You're welcome to type them into the group chat or take the microphone. I had one because this is one of the, I think, misconceptions that some people have about Facebook ads, and that's that it's used for consumer to consumer and not business to business. Would you like to comment on that at all?
Oh, absolutely. It's a big misconception, because one of the things that we always need to think about with Facebook, with any online advertising, is that, and any advertising medium, we need to advertise where our people are. So the thing is that Facebook has a huge number of users, and it's incorrect to think that if we're in a business talking to other business owners that our target market aren't on Facebook. You know full well they are. It's just that not a lot of businesses have put effective Facebook advertising in place to reach their, the owners or the decision makers or the managers within those organisations. So it's a complete fallacy to think it doesn't work because they're not there. They absolutely are there. They are on Facebook, on the lounge at night when they're watching Netflix. We are on our phones all the time. So this is part of the whole idea of being where your audience is. We need to play in that sandpit. So that's why Facebook ads will work for you. You just need to be thinking about some of these custom audiences in particular, lookalike audiences, as well as getting clear, on your ad creative, writing that compelling copy, having the stop the scroll image, being strategic about what you do, and then you just target the right people. So I 100% don't agree with that, and I have so much success B2B for myself, for my own business and for my clients' businesses inside Facebook. But it is an education piece that I need to do with the owners, because they go, oh no, we're too serious to have ads inside Facebook. It's just not true.
Does anyone have any other questions to pop into chat?
If you're going business to business, how do you go through the job titles? How do you target another business specifically? Do you go in the demographic and those reporting the job title of X, Y, or Z, or how do you aim at other business pages?
Okay, so I am still I would first of all go with custom audiences first. So I would be targeting people that have visited your client's website, people that are on your client's list, and the people that look like those people. So custom audiences and lookalike audiences are so powerful. And then, so you create that. Now, when you create a custom audience, depending on where you are in the world, in Australia, by default, you create a custom audience and you say, I want within 1% like that. Facebook will find 160,000 people in Australia. In America, it's, 500,000. In the UK, it's probably about 250,000. So they will find across the whole country or whatever, a bunch of people. And it's then that you go, righto, here's my potential audience, but I know that my decision maker, they're all 35 and above. So I have my custom audience, it's everybody, but when I run my ad, I choose that lookalike audience and I say, show this to women over 35. Show this to men over 45. It'll reduce down the amount of people that you see, but it's a very targeted audience, and that's what I always would do. If you are looking to target, like sort of using a saved audience, so going a bit cold, think about personalities, thought leaders, influencers in that business community. So maybe business owners or decision makers might be, you know, let's just like, they might follow Tony Robbins, or they might follow Gary Vaynerchuk, or they might follow Richard Branson, or they might follow, you know, what's her face from Facebook? Oh, the woman. And
Amy Porterfield?
Yeah, well, no, not so much Amy Porterfield, because she's more our person, but Cheryl Stanford, you know, just some, or Ariana Huffington. It might be that we know that our target customer, like our business owner, our decision maker, they read and they follow those people. Now, they may not read and follow them inside Facebook. That's irrelevant. We know that they might follow them inside LinkedIn. But at night, when they're having a wine or a glass or a beer and they're winding down, they are on their phone scrolling their feed, and not everything they do is sharing photos of their kids. They are going to see things. We are going to interrupt them with a good quality graphic, with a good quality story, and they're going to be interested because we're targeting people that are interested in what Richard Branson says, that are interested in what this business says. You can, some of the pages, some business pages that are big enough, you can follow them. So it might be that you might be targeting people that follow a certain company online. They may not necessarily follow them inside Facebook. That doesn't mean that they're not interested, because Facebook knows they're interested in that business and that person because of all the Facebook pixels that are embedded all over the place. So you may never follow Tony Robbins. You may not like his page inside Facebook, but you've gone to every single website that he's ever done, and Facebook knows that from the pixel.
Yeah.
I can never get, sorry, you go. I'm just astounded at the power of it. You go, Barry.
Can you tell us more about Creative Hub? I didn't understand that. I didn't even know that was there or what it.
Oh, it's so good. I'll just share my screen with you because it is awesome. It is relatively new, but it makes sharing your, it makes, you can see that, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
it makes, yeah. So if you create an ad for, oh, actually, I'm going a different way there. It's really great if you're creating ads for your clients and you want them to see it so that they can approve it. So what you can do is, I'm just going to get into my account so you can see. So if I come inside here, again, hamburger, top left-hand menu, you can never get lost. Come into Creative Hub. You can still see that, yeah?
I think it's stuck.
Okay. Is it there now?
All we can see is the ad with the little dog or something from Star Wars.
Hang on, I'll just see if I can get it, share it properly. Oh, yeah, it is stuck. There you go. How's that? Is that better?
Yeah.
Right.
To turn great ideas into great ads.
Yes. So this is the thing. You're creating an ad for your customer. They want to see what the ad's going to look like, or you want to see, or your team's creating it. So you can actually come into Creative Hub. And
how did you get into Creative Hub, Leanne?
Anything to do with Facebook advertising, always go top left-hand corner, the hamburger menu, always. And then click on all tools so you get your big navigation. So always go to Business Manager, always go top left-hand corner, and then pop out everything and you will see everything.
Creative Hub, yeah.
Yep. So lots of people get lost, and I always say, go to the hamburger, go to the hamburger. You'll never get lost because you'll see everything inside there. So when we're in Creative Hub, you can choose to create a mock-up and you can tie it to the right ad so that you might have it all ready. You know, you can choose whichever the account is, whatever, but then you can create a mock-up and you can share that link with your customer. So you can say, well, I'm an e-commerce store, or I'm going to upload a video of my client talking because it's, you know, B2B or whatever, and a video ad would work really well because, you know, they get to have that personal relationship, and they'll also get to, you know, get that authority. So you can say whatever you pay. You just want to set it up so, because all this is a test. So this might be Big Blue Digital. So I'm creating this like this. I'm going to upload, I'll pretend that's the right image. It's not, but it won't matter. So you would actually create an ad inside here, but it's just a mock-up. So you would send this, clients can see it, clients can comment on it.
How do you send it to a client?
So once you've created your mock-up, so I'm just going to do, you know, this is a test. I'll just choose a video, find something. I'll pretend I've got a video. We don't have one, but we'll just pretend we have one. Oh no, it is going to want me to do that. Damn it. Upload. So I'll just upload something. MP4. Okay, so it's a video. Don't know what this is. Hopefully it's all right. So we just upload our video. You know, you can add a link.
Yeah.
So you might put where you want them to go. You know, whatever it is, again. We can have so all the things that you would normally do in the ad, see how it's building our ad over here?
Yep.
And we've got, all of this is fake, but it lets your clients see. And I found that this is really helpful because clients can then visualize what you've done. Because I've always had in my training, but I've recently upgraded it, I have what I call a Facebook framework, which is a Word document that lets you all the pieces that you need to pull together to create your ad creative, as well as the whole thing, like, you know, starting with your campaign objective and then your ad set and then putting your ad together. But often clients don't really understand what it is that you're putting together for them. So Creative Hub lets you put all this stuff in here. You know, you control your button, so you can have, everything is all sort of sitting inside here. Mm-hmm. And you can sort of see what it might look on everywhere else. So get rid of that. It doesn't like it. It'll flash red if it doesn't think it's appropriate. You know, watch more would be the video one, so that people can see more of the ad. And then if you do this over here, so you can create a new mock-up, or what you can do is save it, call it mock-up A, or whatever it is for your client. So we'd save it. And then you just send them a link. They can just get an email of it. And then it opens up and they can have a look to see how it's all working. Your mock-up was successfully saved. Beautiful. So if I go into my, so I can then, when it's been approved, you can move your whole completed approved ad. You can actually move it all the way into your business account, and then you can set that ad to run. Or what you can do is you can copy this URL. So you can, what you do is you import the ad into the business manager account that it relates to, so that you can run the campaign. Or you can copy the URL and you can send that to your client so that they can see it. So all you do is you just get this little link. And then you just, like, you know, you send them the link and say, hey, this is the latest version. This is the latest version of your ad. What do you think? Ta-da!
Yep.
Then they see it.
So cool.
Yep, it is. You know, and they can see it on, this is what it's going to look like on a desktop, and this is what it's going to look like on a mobile. They can see everything without, you know, them touching it or anything else going wrong. And then they can give you feedback, and you can also, you know, when it's approved, what you then do is you go, righto, I want to now make this be an actual ad. So now you can import it and it says, okay, we're going to import this whole ad, all the creative, everything. We're going to import it into our thing. So if we just do copy URL, what it does is that it opens up, it opens it in a new tab for us. So we can just click over inside here and it'll just get us to choose where we want it to go. So yeah. So once we've done that, it's just been copied and we just import it in. So it's done. Okay. Yeah. But I really like it to be able to show clients what it is we're proposing to create for them.
Yeah. And
my team now use it all the time, so that if I've got a team member creating an ad for me, they create it and then they send it to me in Creative Hub so I can approve what it looks like. Because we would have already discussed the audience and everything, but sometimes your ad just sucks because it's your ad. It's not you're putting it in front of the wrong audience or you're not spending enough money. Sometimes we just put dud ads up, and that's why it's really important to test different things and to look to see what's happening, because you normally know within 24 to 48 hours if you're getting the right kind of response. And you know, in my training program, I teach people what to look for in terms of those early responses and what you need to do next. Mm-hmm. So that's in addition to Facebook learns how your ads run, learns what's the best audience. So you've got to let it do that. But we don't want to spend a whole week spending money on an ad that's a dud. That's why we want to test a few things and turn off the duds and leave the one that's getting better and better to run. And then once it hits its stride, it's successful then.
I wonder if you've got any other advice. I've had a client recently who's just done one of those, you know, you can boost your call button, your call now button.
Yep.
We run that campaign and we run it in a small local area.
Yep.
And the call now button said it had 15 link clicks.
Yep.
But actually, we got no calls. Is that where people just press on the call now, the number comes up and then they don't execute the call?
Not necessarily. It can be any kind of click. You need to make sure that you differentiate between link clicks and landing page, whatever it is that you're sending them to. So a link click could be clicking to expand the ad out.
Oh, no, it was one of those specific targeting ones that Facebook do where you promote your call now button.
Yep.
So literally the only thing that classes as a link click is the call now button.
Well, then if they did
called and it said there was 15,
it would have been 15 people clicking the button.
Clicking the button and then not executing the call. Yeah.
And if that's the case, I would think, without looking at your ad, one of the ways to determine if it's your ad or if it's your audience is always do split testing. So if you were doing a call now thing and you knew when it was a small local campaign, so you're not going to split test locations, my suggestion would be you need to split test ads, because you need to have one kind of ad with a certain style and message and then test another one, because it's very hard to know why didn't that work. So I'm just thinking, without even looking at your ad, if you didn't get any calls and you're testing a local area, that it's likely that the ad copy wasn't compelling. I mean, if it's a local area, you can't segment it, you can't go into age, you can't do interests. You need to then focus your ad copy on speaking to those interests.
Yeah.
But always split test. Always. Invariably at the heart of a dud ad, people said, I ran this ad and it didn't work. And I go, oh, did you try it? Were you split testing it? What's that? You know, did you test a different audience? Did you test a different ad? No, I just had, this was the audience, this is the ad. Anything could be wrong. You know, but unless you're split testing it, testing a few parameters, not everything. So, you know, you might test groups with the same ad. You might test a different kind of, you know, 2 different ads with the one group. That helps your knowledge of your own audience reach, so that you know they respond when it's an ad that looks like this or whatever. It's never a quick, never a quick process. Unless if you've got a big custom audience, if you've got big people on your lists, if you've got big footprint inside the Facebook ecosystem, you know, you're likely to get more success. It's when we're trying to grow it, it often is a bit difficult and it's a bit hard at first. We say, oh, it's not working, and it's often because we haven't done any split testing.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Thank you.
I think that was kind of leading up to what my question was really. What is the biggest mistake that you see people making when they first start doing Facebook ads?
They don't have their pixel.
Yes.
Truly,
Yeah.
that is the single biggest mistake I see people making. And no joke, a colleague of mine, she just scored a client. They're in the non-for-profit space. They spend $10,000 a month on Facebook ads, and they didn't have a Facebook pixel.
Wow.
Yeah. And they're going, oh, we're spending all this money, it's not achieving anything. And she just took one look at their account and went, this is why. You know, this is the first thing I have to fix.
Yeah.
So that is the biggie. That is the big thing that people don't do. They don't have it in there. The second thing that they don't do is that I think that people boost because it's easy without thinking about the outcome. So boosting, as I said, is only about engagement. You're going to put your post in front of people that are the clickers. They're more likely to like it or put a little emoji on there or, you know, share it, which is okay. But if that's not your objective, boosting a post is wasting your money, is just feeding, you know, lining Mark Zuckerberg's pockets.
Yeah.
You don't want to just boost posts. You want to be more strategic. You need to think about, what do I want to achieve? And which is the right objective for me to choose to achieve that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the second biggest one. And then the last one is that they don't understand the power of custom and lookalike audiences, so that they're not leveraging the footprint that they already have. They're coming in cold. So they're doing an ad effectively to a cold audience that's a sales pitch, buy my shoes, when inside Facebook, they've never heard of you. It's going to fail. Unless you've got a brand that is like the Now brand, you know, if you're a store selling a product that everybody wants, then going cold to people that just want that product, you are going to get some hits. But if you are going in cold to people that have no connection to you, you know, they don't even look like your most aligned client using a lookalike audience, then it's
not going to work.
No.
Yeah.
So you know, one of the things that I haven't spoken about in here, but I go into detail in my course, is thinking about Facebook advertising from the perspective of a sales funnel. So, you know, what are the ads that I need to run as part of the funnel? How do I bring people into my world? How do I nurture them? And then how do I convert them? And you need to have a series of ads that lead up to that end point. You can't just go cold and expect it to work. So people need to think about a funnel process. So in the same way that web developers, you know, when they think about on a client site, you know, they might have a landing page, and there might be a teaser, and then there's an email form, and then they've built a automation sequence that comes off the back of, you know, you get this, and then I'm going to send you these 3 emails, and then I'm going to come, you know, then I'm going to give you my offer. You need to do that with Facebook as well. You can't just have one thing and go, boom, that's going to work.
Yeah.
Especially if you know nothing about your audience inside Facebook. Like you've never done anything, or you've just done boosted posts. You really know nothing about your audience if all you're doing is boosting posts.
Thank you, Leanne. I think on that note, we've got so much value and so much information. I'm going to post more information about your course in AgencyTribe for people to follow up. I think we've really started to understand the power of Facebook and why it's so important to get those pixels in. We know we've got a great support and knowledgeable person to tap into right here. And I just would like to say thank you so much. That was just so much information that, and we're very, very grateful.
I apologise for the overload.
Well, it's good that we know it, because I just, when I started doing your course, I just thought the power of this is just extraordinary. And if people actually understood how powerful it was, they would really, really, you know, spend more time mastering it or getting someone that's mastered it to implement it for their clients, because it's such an opportunity that's not going to be here forever.
No.
So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Barry, did you want to...
Thank you very much. I learned so much. We usually normally we just do 20 minutes for the guest. Then we do.
I'm really sorry. I forgot that
okay.
Ursh said it was only 20.
Yeah, I was chatting with her, say, let her go, man. I'm learning a ton. I'm sure everybody else is. So it's awesome. So thank you very much for so much information. We wish you could go another hour and go through all your stuff better, but that's why you have a course. So
that's exactly right. That's why I have a self-paced, easy to follow, awesome course.
Cool.
With a supportive Facebook group, might I add? So
absolutely. Yeah, you don't do it on your own. You don't do it on your own. Yep.
All right. Well, I'll get into the final bits here. Generally, we have a half hour of just community discussion. We're going to table that for tonight and
I'm so
push
sorry.
everybody out. Let's take it over to the Facebook group. That's what we have it for. But I do have a couple minutes to talk about. I usually go over a book, a blog, or a podcast, and I'm putting one in here. Everybody will learn that I'm a huge fan, or already knows I'm a huge fan of Brent Weaver and You Gurus and stuff. And he also does a podcast called the Digital Agency Show, and there's a link to it. It's also on SoundCloud. There's a ton of agency owners in there, and a lot of people that he's talked to over the years, including Neil Patel and others. I think he might have talked to Amy Porterfield, and there's other people too. It's a ton of great info. If you don't know about him or haven't listened to it or haven't listened to it in a long time, go back and check it out. If there's anybody that you want to listen to in there that I like is Brad Martineau from 6th Division. He's cool. Everybody he interviews has a ton of great gold nuggets. So there's that. And then next month, thanks to Ursh's post and referral, an idea from Barbara Canaro, we're going to have Dave Sharon on from Sharon Media to talk about automations, Zapier, all that kind of stuff. How can you automate your business and things like that? He's done some really cool stuff just to take for onboarding, taking a client from, okay, you're going to do work with us, fill out this form, and it pushes everything through right to teamwork. So I think everybody will really like that. And he's got some other tools that he uses that he's so serious in this that he blew up Zapier. Basically, he had to find another tool because Zapier times out. So he has this other tool. So he's going to be on with us next month. I believe it's December 10th, if I'm correct. But watch the group, and then this video will get posted once it gets done churning about 3 hours from now. So we'll get it out there. And if you know anybody that's in our space, freelancers, small digital agency owners, have them check out AgencyTribe and join it. We'd like to grow this group more. That's all I got.
Thank you, Barry. We have one last question from James Spears. Go for it, James.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Fabulous. All right. I actually, I've been kind of half listening. My apologies. It's been noisy here. Finally, everybody's gone. I actually logged into Facebook and checked on my company's page and looked for the business manager, but it looks like I'm already on as an admin to another business page. So I'm wondering, how do I get off that and get on my own?
So have you gone to business.facebook.com?
That's where I'm at now. And what's ironic is I didn't set this up. It was actually set up by a partner of mine, and I don't think he knows what he's doing. And he's partnered in a different regard.
So you should have an option then to, up the top in one of the drop downs, you should be able to log out.
All right, hold on a second. Okay, I see it. Yep.
So once you've logged out, then that will give you, it should then return you to the business manager home landing page.
Got it. Yep.
And then you should have an opportunity to create an account.
Okay, so now creating the account, I can attach it to my business.
What you do, yes, create your own business account, call it whatever it is, business manager, whatever. Once you've created it, then you can add in all the pages that you want to add in there. You'll be able to add your own Facebook business page in there because you're already an administrator of it.
Oh, so don't log in under my current Facebook identity. Create a new account.
No.
Literally from scratch.
No, what you need to do is create a business manager account. So you still use it's because it's a different account to your Facebook account. So click on. So are you looking at? Do you want to share your screen? Can you share your screen?
Can I?
Could I just, if I think for the official part of